Boom. All right. Here we are at the Sentry Tournament of Champions final round update.
We are back.
We're back. Just happened?
4 rounds of absolute mayhem. These guys destroyed that course. Kapalua Plantation course. Incredible what we saw.
It really is. I like the undulation where they busted out the level, because that shows I'm lost when the ball is more than 2 inches below my feet. I'm lost.
I've never seen that before. They legitimately had the level out during the broadcast around the greens, on the fairways. I mean, you really start to see why. We were talking about Hideki in the previous show, how it was close to Augusta. I think Spieth had that quote, but what a place. I mean, the views, everything. You got to love Kapalua. And we get one more week in Hawaii over on the Big Island coming up. But Sony, I'm really excited for that and just thrilled at what we saw during the Sentry. That was so much fun.
I couldn't agree more. You know what really made it, and it always makes it a different event when a different announcer is announcing that, is that I don't remember his name. I think it's what's the announcer who's like lives in Hawaii and always announces the Sony Open and is just infatuated with Hawaii.
Yeah, he was
like Kurt something, maybe
Kirk Minahane.
Yeah, we don't know. We like the guy, but man, he is infatuated with that place. He knows, every single bay name, all the surfers out there by name, probably.
He kept commenting on the whales coming back this time of year, the surfers, and I love that he called it our island. I mean, he's totally bought in, invested, and he's a local there.
He's local kind, big time.
3 players broke scoring records for a tournament. I mean, we've never seen anyone go lower than minus 32 during a week since Ernie Els did it in 2003, I think was the stat. And we had Matt Jones placing 3rd at 30.
Coming out of nowhere.
Or 32, yeah, Matt Jones. I mean, he won the Honda Classic last year, which no one really played. I mean, it's a home game in Jupiter for a lot of people that they didn't even show up to. But he ended up winning that. That's how he got his ticket. And then obviously Rahm and Cameron Smith just coming through. You're all over Cam Smith. Take us through that.
Well, it started off with a Garrett play, as I said in the preview show. It was, a little bit of a, I contemplated the move because he has been playing well, but I just like the guy. I think he just has a really carefree attitude, and Hawaii is a land of the carefree. And I think I said in the preview show, he's an island guy. He's born on an island. He's in Hawaii now, and it translated, and I couldn't be happier.
I think that guy is on cloud 9 right now. He's been playing some of his best golf. He's obviously starting 2022 with a win. He's just got to be loving life and really stepping into the bright lights, the PGA Tour well.
Gosh, I watched every single. I watched that match because when Saturday ended and it was them two at the top with, I think it was 4-stroke lead or 3-stroke lead over 3rd place. I thought in my head it was going to be a match. Like, this is going to be a match play event. And I watched that whole thing. Cameron Smith has some cojones. He matched Jon Rahm in some certain circumstances that were unbelievable. I can't remember exactly what hole it was, but man, he made like a 13-footer D when Rahm tied him up and he had to hit that, or else it would have switched and Rahm would have went up, and he just nailed it and just nonchalant, whatever,
13-footer. Yeah, especially important you bring that up. Shout out to Titleist for posting their new Vokey SM9 wedges. They showed a stat that Cam Smith from 50 to 125 yards had a proximity of 12 feet 11 inches this week. Very key for those 13-foot birdies he was making. The wedges in play. He has the irons. He's got the full set down to the Scotty. I think it's M009. So he's a full Titleist player through and through. Cool to see him win when you have a Callaway guy and Jon Rahm right behind you. He was gaming that new Rogue ST that they put into play this week. And it's just a little bit crazy to see Rahm with another 2nd place finish, especially at a remarkable 33 under. The guy has been so close. It's amazing to think he only won 1 time last year, being a US Open. He'll take that, but obviously he probably should have won the Memorial and a few others. He's been knocking on the door quite a bit. I think he's going to win a few more times.
I would say so. Let me piggyback off that Titleist shout out. the Rogue is supposed to be, you know, Kapalua goes the longest. We're the longest this. Cam Smith is sneaky long with that TS. I'm not sure what he's gaming, if he's
I think he's got the 3.
TS3.
Yeah.
He was past Rom a lot, you know, and Rom is a big hitter. That TS3 has some pop to it.
And it's interesting course to look at that stat though, because, you know, you get into the right spot off the tee and you can just hit a vault basically that shoots you way down the fairway. I mean,
that's so true.
There's so many spots on that course where you can just really go deep, but we'll have to keep an eye on that when we get into some of the flatter courses and see who's bombing it.
Yeah.
A lot of guys were finding those speed slots though, and it was exciting to watch that entire tournament. But I think let's get into our game. Let's see a little bit about what happened between the 4 of us and how our picks did. I'll let you run with it, Mr. Champion number 1.
All right. So I clocked in at a record-breaking -60 for 4 rounds of golf and 3 golfers, which is
that was you clocked in a little lower.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I looked at the top. I clocked in at -83. That is unheard of.
With 3 golfers.
3 golfers. And I don't know. I mean, Cam Smith came out firing, and so did John Rahm, and that's all. I mean, they sort of had the lead. You know, they're T2 after the first round. Was that right?
Yeah, I think Rahm was there. Cam Smith was a wire-to-wire winner. So I think he had 2 rounds of -8 and 2 rounds of -9. And there's 2 rounds of -12 this week. Rahm and JT in the 3rd round both shot -12. So crazy. You got Rahm as your number 1 pick, as you should.
Yeah.
But even more memorable is going to be Cam Smith as your last selection winning the tournament.
That was big time. And I do have to shout out one of my picks. I'm not sure if you caught this, D, but I think he was my 2nd pick, Bryson. No funky hat. He's rocking the normal lid.
Thank you.
Somebody must have gotten through to him.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that is my favorite thing to look for with Bryson. Love the guy. I'm a Bryson Andrew DeChambeau. Saw that acronym come out for his clothing the other day. Bad. Big fan of his. Just, you know, I don't think he needs that newsy hat all the time.
Yeah. He needs to be his own guy. You know, that was a who's he replicating there? It was like,
well, it's Payne Stewart a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Honorable thing to do.
Honorable.
Both U.S. Open champions.
You go through your picks now. I mean, were you happy with how it went? You know, you finished in a close boat race to 2nd.
Yeah, you know, it was a 3-man race for 2nd place. Joe obviously ran away with it with the top 2 players in his field, but G, Willie, and we had a good little Sunday. It was very close. I came away with 2nd place at -61, thanks to Morikawa shooting, I believe, 10 under on Sunday.
His putting's fixed.
Yeah, he was really feeling it on Sunday. I think he struggled a little bit Saturday and Friday, but had a good start and a really, really strong finish. Hovland started strong, kind of tinkered out, but then played well on Sunday. You know, that might be my Achilles heel pick for the week, but obviously it ended up working out. I'll take 2nd place any day, especially when a guy didn't have his clubs until the day before the tournament. I do want to take this moment to mention a little shocked that this player wasn't picked, and I probably wish I did pick him, Patrick Cantlay. He's player of the year last year, and we didn't get him in the first tournament, but I think he'll be taken most weeks.
When that name popped up on Saturday, late on Saturday, we all were texting like, what the heck? How did we let Cantlay go? The guy who rattled off 2 of the 3 playoff wins.
And made it look pretty easy.
Effortless.
He's going to win a few more times this year, I would think.
Yeah, he's going to be picked a few more times as well.
And then 1 stroke behind me, a lot in part due to Justin Thomas going bananas on Saturday. G finishing at -60. Brooks and Reed really, it's tough to say didn't do their part when you had 3 players finishing -60, but it seemed like Brooks kind of tinkered out a little bit.
Yeah.
I just, you know, these scores are mind blowing to me. I can't believe we're talking about -60 for a 3-man field, but Garrett with a solid JT, Brooks, and Reed picks at minus 60.
What do you think about P. Reed? You know, we see the PXG sponsorship on the hat, but we get noticed that he's only rocking a super old driver of theirs. No wedges, no irons, only an old school driver.
I think this is just going to be a transformation period for him. He'll probably do a lot of testing to figure out what he likes best and eventually make the move, if not full to at least a newer driver, I would think. But, you know, they come out with a lot of products. They're pretty exclusive to, well, obviously pros don't worry about it, but for us amateurs, you can only get PXG through their direct site. But I think he's just going to work with them a little bit, and in time, he'll probably make more of a switch. But he had a kind of random, unique manufacturer he was using before, didn't he?
Yeah, for his irons.
Yeah.
I also heard, I'm not sure who that was, but I also heard Berger has the same irons that he has had his whole career, and he bought up all the rest of them on the market, so he never has to switch.
Wow. Yeah, that's a baller move.
Yeah, he's just buying clubs, like, you know, all the sets, and then just tweaking them and getting them just perfect. You know.
Sorry to any serious Daniel Berger fans, I won't be able to game the same driver as he has, but
I think it's just the irons, but yeah, it sucks for them.
But yeah, no, not going to play the same irons as Daniel Berger there. DB straight vibing.
Straight vibe, I love that. And then Willie,
minus 58. I mean,
yeah, surprising. Spieth let him down. I do want to talk to you. I know you love Spieth, and you know I love Spieth too. Man, it's ugly right now for me. In my perspective, the game isn't ugly. The game isn't ugly. The pre-shot routine and the way it's looking, tough.
He's doing a little bit too much, but when has Spieth not? I mean, that's part of his DNA. He's always going to be doing a little bit too much.
Yeah.
I kind of love it. It's the first tournament of the year. He just had a baby. I'm sure he's been trying to work as hard as he can at home, but he's also been spending a lot of time at home, I would imagine.
Yeah. Little Joel Embiid, you know, trust the process. That's what I see when he takes that little like half pre-shot thing. It's just Joel Embiid, trust the process right there.
Yeah, he's really been trying to get away from flattening the club in his backswing, and it looks a lot more straight up. If you went back and watched some film from like the Open at St. George's last year, I remember even trying to like think about that in a backswing. It was so flat and sawed off behind his back. Like,
yeah,
I couldn't even imagine how to get that back on plane.
Yeah, also very Gankasy, George Gankas, very bowed wrist inside. You're just like, oof.
And then he's coming back down real steep now too. But, you know, maybe he's thinking about how to keep up with the longer hitters, because you got to compress that ball.
Yeah.
I think Spieth said it himself. He's in a really good spot compared to where he was at any point last year even. And look, I mean, he shot minus 18, and if that's good for 20th place, so be it. I mean,
you go shoot minus 18 pretty much anywhere else, you're, you know, top 10 easy, top 5 probably.
I would sure think so. And I think he'll come around. He's got a big swing coming up. He just committed to like 4 or 5 tournaments through the next couple months. So we'll see a lot of work out of Spieth.
Yeah.
Didn't hear really much of anything on any broadcast from Hideki or Tony Finau. So
no, the only broadcast I wanted to hear on Tony Finau was that painted on goatee he's rocking. That little chin, that thing was awesome, dude. Whoa.
Yeah, Tony, you know, he's got my support, and especially this week, you saw the green ribbons out there for Tony. Really cool thing that the guys on tour did in support of Tony's wife and her father. But yeah, it was a really great week. Always fun. I sit here out east, and I think about how beautiful it looked over there in Maui with the ocean views and just perfectly sunny days. And
oh man,
get a little bit jealous, but that's why we do it. That's why we do it in January, and love watching it. What a great tournament.
No doubt. And so next round we got Sony Open
coming up. We should have a preview show, hopefully tomorrow. Get it out Tuesday.
Yeah.
And over on the Big Island at Wailea. That's always a fun one. I love the W trees behind one of the greens. There's always a key capture moment for the guys in the recording studio.
No doubt about that. Who do you got for the Natty tonight?
This is a tough one. I've seen people going both ways. It's tough to root against Saban. And the Tide have taken 7 of the last 8 against the Dogs.
Yeah,
I'm going to stick with it and go Bama money line as a dog, even though I kind of in my heart want to see the Dogs do it.
Yeah, I'm going. If I'm a betting man, I'm going Bama money line, and then in my heart I'm rooting for Georgia.
We'll see it happen.
Love it. All right.
We'll see you on the preview show for Sony.
There we go. Talk to you guys at the preview show for the Sony Open. All right.
Ooh.